This full moon is all about radical transformation. It's about transforming the status quo, deep transformation, inner transformation that starts at your core. This is about shaking things up when it comes to tradition and doing things in an unconventional way. Hi everyone, Heather here with astrologywithheather.com, and I am back with another super exciting extended 2-week forecast. This one is for July 13th all the way through to July 27th of 2022, the entire waning phase of the lunar cycle, beginning with the full moon in the sign of Capricorn. And this is an unusual Capricornian moon. This full moon is all about radical transformation. It's about transforming the status quo. That is because this full moon energy is in a very close conjunction with Pluto, which is the planet of death, rebirth, and transformation, deep transformation, inner transformation that starts at your core and then reverberates out into the world. And especially in an earth sign, especially in Capricorn, we will see physical manifestations of this energy. It's kind of like something that's been building for a very long time in all of our lives that's finally coming forth, finally coming to fruition, finally being revealed to us. It could also be an energy of unusual secrets being revealed, because Pluto is that very secretive, very reserved sort of energy. And a lot of times when we have Pluto illuminated by the moon, by the full moon, or even with the sun or with other planets, secrets will be revealed. And I say that this could be unusual secrets and a lot of change and a lot of transformation and a disruption of the status quo because Uranus is involved. And so Uranus is notorious for disrupting the status quo, especially when we're looking at this Capricornian energy, this Saturnian ruled sign that represents the status quo. And so this is about breaking down the norm. This is about breaking through hierarchy. This is about shaking things up when it comes to tradition and doing things in an unconventional way within the conventional modalities. This is a deeply transformative, deeply shift-oriented energy, I should say. Where we've been kind of dealing with this ongoing Uranus-Saturn square for over a year now. That's still continuing to play out. That's going to be activated way more so than it has been for quite some time later in this month, which we'll discuss at the end of this video. And so this is kind of an outlet for Uranus where it's not going to be as inhibited. There's not going to be as many roadblocks, as many frustrations, as many red lights that are preventing us from actually shifting and changing and disrupting the things that need to be disrupted in our lives, because we have this really beautiful harmonious trine between the moon and Uranus. This is also highlighting the upcoming Uranus North Node conjunction, which again, we'll talk about a lot more at the end of this video and in the next 2 weeks. But this is a big energy. This is a society transforming energy that's being highlighted. But this is actually highlighting the positive components and the positive potential of this disruption, which will feel a little less than positive in the moment because it's going to be deeply uncomfortable. But this is showing us where that discomfort is leading and what we can actually accomplish. The truth, the core of whatever it is that's being shaken up in our lives and what that can create for us, that's what's being revealed. And so this is a powerful full moon energy. This is a really, I think, positive full moon energy amidst some more disruptive energies that are going to be unfolding a lot more so later on in the month. And yeah, I actually really like this. So we'll talk about all of the details and everything that's going on in the next 2 weeks. But before we get into that, I just want to mention, for those of you who are new to my channel, welcome. My name is Heather Eland. I'm a professional astrologer and astrology teacher who specializes in teaching my students to give meaningful, accurate astrology readings with confidence. The best way that I do that is through my Cosmic Academy of Astrology. You can check out the waitlist and the details of that down in the description below. And even if you're not ready for a comprehensive course, I have a free Astrology 101 PDF guide for you to download so you can understand your own chart better, so you can understand these videos and what I'm talking about here a lot better. It goes over the signs, planets, houses, aspects, and more. My free gift to you, again, down in that description below. And the way that I structure these videos is I always start with a 5 to 10 minute general forecast. Please don't skip this because it does provide an important context for what we'll be discussing in the forecast for all 12 signs. Speaking of which, when we do get into the forecast for all 12 signs, make sure you listen to your rising sign, your sun sign, and your moon sign to get a more holistic overview of the energy for the coming 2 weeks. Your rising sign will be the most predominant energy, your sun sign will be secondary, and your moon sign is important to listen to as well, although this energy will be more internalized and subjective. Finally, at the end of each video, I do a 2 to 3 minute overview of the next 2 weeks forecast, which this one's going to be a big one, so you don't want to skip this end of this video. It's actually one of the biggest energies of the entire year. If not like beyond the entire year. So definitely check that out and stick around until the end if you're interested in that. And of course, make sure you subscribe to my channel. I do a new video almost every single Saturday, a tutorial or a forecast at 9 a.m. Mountain Daylight Time. And so you don't want to miss that. All right, so back into the energy of the next couple of weeks and what we can expect. This is a little bit of craziness, but I think it's really positive, especially at the start of this couple of weeks. We'll start feeling the energy of that North Node Uranus-Mars conjunction / T-square, which is going to be really intense. Again, we'll talk about that a lot more in 2 weeks, but we're going to start feeling that at the end of this 2-week period. At the start of this 2-week period, this full moon is bringing really great energy. Not only is it in this really nice trine with Uranus, not only is it trining the North Node in Taurus and obviously sextiling the South Node, but it is going to be in a sextile with Neptune and Pisces. This is a very highly intuitive energy. This is a highly receptive energy, even in, the earth signs, which, yeah, the earth signs are more receptive anyway, but this is like this is an energy where we need to feel our way through what's being revealed to us as opposed to thinking our way through it. The reason for this is because on the opposite end of the full moon, we have Mercury combust in a conjunction with the sun. It's not cazimi yet at the time of this full moon, it's combust, which means that our mental faculties will be inhibited a little bit. And so that's something that we just really need to be aware of. And even if it weren't combust, Mercury's in the sign of Cancer, where we're being led by our emotions, our intuition, the way things feel, as opposed to our rational, logical thinking, will be highlighted regardless of what's going on right now with the full moon. But that combust energy makes it so our emotions could take over and we could have a much harder time discerning and rationalizing and thinking about things in that logical linear fashion that usually can prove to be quite helpful, especially during times of disruption and change, which is what we're entering into. Because Mercury's combust, our brains are going to be not as clear. There's going to be information we won't be able to access. We're going to be a little bit more frazzled. I've noticed with Mercury combust, that's where people tend to think and overthink and ruminate and overprocess, and our brains are a little bit more on overdrive, but we're not really getting anywhere with all of that thinking, right? It's just causing a lot of stress and an unnecessary burden on our nervous system. And so this is a time to kind of take a step back from that, know that this is happening, especially if you find yourself thinking and overthinking and playing and replaying conversations and allowing your feelings to guide your brain as opposed to, feelings, that's okay. Emotions, that's okay. Our intuition, though, is really what we need to focus on. Because our emotions could lead our brains to kind of fill in the gaps in ways that are going to be not appropriate to the situation, if that makes sense. And so if you're being led by your emotion in the moment because something has triggered you, something's really intense, something is really even exciting and joyful, you might make the wrong decision. So you want to not just rely on the way that you feel in the moment, you want to really sit with it and intuit the situation, especially as all of these transformative energies, all of these potential new realities are being revealed to you during this full moon. That's the main takeaway. And the main reason for that is because we have this, not just Mercury combust, but Neptune is sextiling the moon. We have Pluto in a conjunction with the moon. I mean, this is a very psychic energy. It's very psychically charged. And with that Uranus energy, we could get intuitive downloads, inspirations, flashes of insight that are really moments of genius that even if they don't logically make sense, they're going to lead us to something really great. And so pay attention to those impulses, pay attention to those insights. Even if they seem strange, even if they don't make sense in the moment, they might make sense later on in the month when things are shifting. So keep a journal, write it down, pay attention. This is so important because this is going to help you to get through the next few weeks at the end of July and start of August. It's going to provide the guidance you need to stay the course, stay the path, and to pivot when you need to when those opportunities show up that are aligned with the insights that you're getting right now. So important. I hope you guys take my advice on that, because for some people, there's going to be a lot of disruption coming up. And I would say on kind of more of a mundane astrology, like global scale, there's going to be more disruption coming up at the end of this month. And so it's going to be hard to know where to go when everything is topsy-turvy like that. This is where you're going to get that guidance ahead of those moments. So super, super important. There's another thing coming up that I think is also very important. Just a couple of days after the full moon, on July 16th, Mercury will be cazimi, making its superior conjunction with the sun. This is also a big important moment. If you are having trouble with your thoughts, if you are not thinking clearly, if you're frazzled, if your emotions are leading your brain all over the place, this is the time where you're going to get that clarity that you need in order to make a really clear decision. It's happening somewhere around 1 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time. You'll have to look it up in your time zone, and it's active for about 2.5 hours before and after that period. And so within that time frame, when Mercury is cazimi, it's elevated. And so the nature of Mercury is elevated in a lot of ways. Mercury rules communication. It rules our rational thinking. It rules decision making. It rules our ability to be discerning. It rules our ability to communicate really clearly. And so if you're having issues with communication or miscommunications, or just needing to have an important conversation, this could be that moment. This is a time where you can get clarity of thought through especially active participation in that thinking process. And so talking it out with someone, brainstorming, journaling, doing something overt to try to get clarity on that linear rational kind of plane, that's going to be your best bet there. We also have the Mercury Sun conjunction will be trine Neptune and Pisces. And so it's not going to be just about listening to our logic. Again, there's a lot of intuitive energies, and this is where our intuition is going to be really spot on. And so this is where you want to kind of sit and reflect. You want to meditate on it. Do something active in your meditation, like, again, journaling or chanting or whatever, movement, something where you're actively engaging in it, or you're actively thinking about the problem you want to solve, because it is the superior conjunction. But it's going to come to you more in terms of like feelings, sensations, impressions, visions, that type of thing that you can rationally make sense of, though. So that's kind of the biggest energy. As we kind of end these 2 weeks, it's going to start to get a little bit more scattered, a little bit more frazzled. And so you want to take advantage of the clarity while it's here. All right, and so before we get into my forecast for all 12 signs, I just want to mention that my electional astrology mini course is now available for you to immediately access. The link is down in the description below. Electional astrology is the art of choosing the best timing for anything that you wish to accomplish, to initiate, so that way you can create a perfect birth chart for it. And so basically the process is you find the exact moment in time to initiate something that's going to enhance your success, that's going to make things easier for you. And that's especially important if you have something that you really want to jump into in the next couple of months while the astrology is a little wonky. And it's good to just have that in your back pocket regardless. And so you can find that link down in the description below, available now. And so let's get into the forecast for all 12 signs, beginning, of course, with Aries and with Aries rising. All right, and so for Aries and for Aries rising, this full moon is bringing a radical transformation, disrupting the status quo, and bringing you closer to your truest needs, wants, and desires in the area of career and finance. And so this is big news and really exciting for Aries rising people. The financial sector in your chart is an area that's going to be a little bit more prone to disruption right now. But I would say that this could provide an outlet for disruption in a very positive way, where you could have a really exciting change coming up. And this could provide the insight that you need in order to navigate it really effectively. This could also be a moment in time where you finally reach this like pivotal period where all of a sudden the work that you've been putting in to align your career goals and plans with your success, with your ambitions, with the things that you really need in your career, with the things that you truly came here to accomplish, you could see some sort of recognition for that, or some sort of culmination of that, where all of a sudden you're getting what you desire. And so that could be really amazing as well. This could also be something that was hidden being revealed to you in the workplace, or with your career, or with a boss, or somebody in a position of power and authority. And even if you're not working, that could be the case. And so this could be something that you get recognized for out in the public sphere, or this could be something to do with the legacy that you leave behind after your working years, and aligning yourself with that desire. What do you want to contribute? What do you want to be known for? That could be a big part of this energy as well. Definitely a very intuitive energy. There could be something going on behind the scenes in your home or your family life that's kind of clouding your judgment when it comes to your career. Pull yourself out of that. Follow your intuition, follow your impulses. Make sure that, whatever you're doing feels good and feels right and feels aligned. And I mean, you really can't go wrong with that. And so that's what's going on for Aries. All right, and for Taurus and for Taurus rising. So for Taurus, this full moon is happening in your ninth house, which is the house of foreign travel. So maybe what's being revealed to you is a travel opportunity, or a really transformative experience that changes and shapes your worldview in a very unpredictable or unexpected way, that involves travel or involves connection with a foreign country, a foreign person, a foreign culture in some way. This could also be just a transformation that's occurring when it comes to your perspective on life, your not just your beliefs and values on a religious level or a philosophical level, but really the viewpoint that you take, the worldview that you have, that shapes the way that you perceive and engage with your reality. There is a major transformation taking place in that arena. This could also be you putting something out there involving teaching or publishing that could be very transformative to you on a personal level, and on a teaching or information wisdom sharing level. But this could also be a really powerful time for you in terms of just getting new education. You might be all of a sudden, it could be revealed to you that maybe you want to study with somebody who has some really deep occult knowledge. That would be a very Plutonian energy. And in Capricorn, somebody who does this in a way that's very I wouldn't say occult knowledge would be conventional by like mainstream standards, but who has some sort of discipline around it. So maybe you want to learn some sort of occult science, some sort of spiritual discipline, something that is a little bit more locked in and a little bit more traditional, that's been passed down for like hundreds and thousands of years or something like that. Or this could be you wanting to teach something along those lines. This could also just be a really powerful time for you when it comes to aligning your values and your values, your morals, your ethics, the things that you believe, with who you are and the way that you show up out in the world. So who you are is changing right now. Your perspective on life is changing. The way people view you is changing. And so this is where you get to decide how you show up now and into the future. And this is where you get to kind of align yourself with your integrity. And that's what could be revealed to you as well. Approaching these situations, intuitively, feeling them out versus rational, logical thinking, that's going to be your best bet here. And that's what's going on for Taurus. For Gemini and for Gemini rising, this full moon is happening in your 8th house, which is the house of debt, joint finances, other people's money. That's kind of the more mundane description of this house. And so you might have issues pertaining to those topics coming up for you and being revealed to you and illuminated around the time of this full moon, which again is happening on the 13th of July. And so this is a really important period where something involving your joint finances, so it could be like your finances with your partner, something involving debt, taxes, inheritance, insurance payouts, other people's money could be revealed to you, and it could be very transformative. This could also be you getting very clear on what you want to change and how you want to transform your financial future. And so it could be that what's revealed to you is that you want more financial freedom, or that you want to make more conventional investments, or make conventional investments in an unconventional way. All of these things could pertain to you. This is also an energy where some of your deepest fears and anxieties could be revealed to you, but they could be revealed to you in a way where it's very easy to see it, to dig it up, to transform it, and to move on. This is a healing full moon for Gemini and Gemini rising. There's going to be a lot of strange stuff going on behind the scenes that are going to shake things up for you, and that could cause some anxiety or some fear. But again, that fear, that anxiety that bubbles up is what's being transformed for you right now. And so that's a really powerful energy as well. This could also be you kind of getting to this culmination point of dabbling with 8th house topics of death, witchcraft, occult sciences, things of that nature, and that could be a part of this energy as well. And so this is a very psychic time, I would say, for Geminis too. All right. And so for Cancer and for Cancer rising. So for Cancer, this full moon is happening in your 7th house, which is the house of relationships. And so this could be where something really deep and really needed on a transformative level is revealed to you in your closest, most important relationships. This is especially where there could be a very intense change that occurs when it comes to a close friendship, an important, platonic type of relationship where it gets much deeper, where you realize that this is a person who's with you, to the end, who's very loyal, who you can trust, or where you decide that you want to be much more loyal to this person in some way. This is where you're going to get to know somebody a lot more intensely. But I think that's going to be a really good thing, a really positive thing. This is also a really great time for you to do any sort of one-on-one healing work with a practitioner, a doctor, or if you are a healer, yourself. This is a really great time to make a lot of headway with your clients, with your patients, with whoever. That could be, a really important energy for you right now. This is also where you might connect with somebody new on a one-on-one level, and that connection runs really deep. It feels really intense. You feel very close to this person, especially emotionally and psychologically, if not also physically. And so that could be something that comes in, so like a new connection, and that connection could come from your social circle. It's like all of a sudden you meet someone through a friend and you're like, wow, we have this really deep, really intense connection. This is beyond just friendship. I need to follow this down this like little rabbit hole here. This could also be where somebody like a confidant or like a close friend or a marriage partner or something like that could help you to gain deeper insights and understanding into a disruptive energy going on in your social circle that maybe has been worrying you or stressing you out, and that might continue to play out later in this month. If that happens, pay attention, because that guidance is going to help carry you through what's going to be going on later on in July. All right, and for Leo and for Leo rising. So for Leo, this full moon energy is happening in your 6th house, which is the house of health, work, and daily routines. There's been some intensity probably for a lot of Leo rising people in the workplace, or with your coworkers, or especially if you are somebody who's in a management position or who owns a business, like with people that work for you. This is going to kind of be an alleviation of that energy where all of a sudden, all of that intensity, you realize it's for a reason. It's revealed to you in some way. This could also be a revelatory energy around a health issue, especially a physical health issue that's been weighing on you or causing problems for you, where you get to go deeper, you get to understand the core issues beyond just the physical. So this could be looking at psychological and emotional healing practices tied to physical health and well-being. So This is something that could be really important and really exciting for you in that regard. There's something changing and transforming for you in your work, your career, and also the day-to-day routines of your work and career. It might get a little intense later this month. There could be a lot of disruption and chaos, but you're seeing what the reason for that is now and what the road and the path will be to navigate that. And you're going to come out, I think, ahead. Like, you're going to have a much better, more liberated experience with your work as a result of these changes and these disruptions going on in the workplace. And again, this is where you get clarity on that. So get the clarity now, so when it does come up, you're not like caught off guard and you don't know how to navigate this. This is where you're going to learn how to navigate what's coming up in your work into the next few weeks. All right. And so for Virgo and for Virgo rising, this is a happy full moon for Virgo. This full moon is happening in your 5th house, which is the house of joy, play, fun, children. It's the house of romance. It's the house of hobbies, interests, things that you love to do because you love to do them. It's the house of sex and sexuality. And so this could be a really romantic time for Virgos, especially with that really nice sextile to Neptune in your 7th house. It could be where you kind of deepen your intimacy and your romantic connection with a partner, or, you know, even maybe finding a new partner or having a new kind of like a love affair or a fling in a very positive sense, where it's really transformative for you in a lot of ways. This could also just be where, you know, you deepen your connection to your joy, to your inner child, to the things that you love, to the things that you are so passionate about. This is an energy that's really going to ignite your passions. Like, you're going to be like, wow, I'm so excited about this new thing that I really have been thinking about, and now I'm going to launch it. I'm going to do it. It's finally happening. I'm really excited for it. I'm really passionate about it. This is how I can express myself creatively finally, that type of thing. And this could be you diving into learning something or deepening your education around something that, again, you're truly passionate about, but doing it in a very exciting, new, innovative way. It's like learning something really super weird that you've never thought about learning before or exploring before, where all of a sudden you're really into it. That could be part of this energy too. Just know there could be disruptions to the learning and education process coming up for you later this month. It's not going to be as challenging as some of the other signs, but that is a thing. And so this full moon is going to reveal to you very precisely what to focus on and how to navigate any disruptions, and also disruptions to travel plans, connections with people in foreign countries, things like that could come up as well. So this is going to show you the way. So pay attention to those intuitions, pay attention to those insights, those downloads. That'll help you to see it through. Okay, and so for Libra and for Libra rising, this full moon is happening in your 4th house, which is the house of home, family, property, real estate, your ancestry, your lineage. This is a time to kind of deepen your roots. So you might actually have something that's revealed to you on a very deep level, at a very core level, about your heritage, about your ancestry, about where you came from, about your family. And that could actually be really liberating and really freeing. It could help you to understand a lot of challenging situations on a psychological level that could come up for you in the next couple of weeks, because there could be disruptions, there could be fear, there could be trauma that's triggered. And this could help you to understand where that's coming from and how to work with it, how to heal through even something like an ancestral wound, right? People talk about ancestral healing. This is a time for that. This is also a time where something could transform or culminate for you, involving very literally your home and a financial situation that's been disrupted related to your home or a property investment. That's something that you could find kind of an out for, or you can figure out the path that will help you to navigate this as things kind of get a little turbulent in that area. This is where your family could be a source of stability amidst a time of maybe financial instability for you, if that's something that you're dealing with. I'm not saying that's something that you're going to deal with necessarily, but some of you will be, and some of you already are, and you know that. And this could be where you could lean on your roots, or you could lean on maybe a property investment, or this could be where a property investment maybe pans out for you in some way. This is a time where you could deepen your connection to your family, to your like immediate family, your parents, or the family that you've created. This is a time for you to deepen your connection to your roots. And so spend this time, especially around the 13th, really focused on family, if that's applicable to you, focused on your home, and focused on what's going on behind the scenes, as opposed to what's going on externally, because that's going to be a little bit more hard to find clarity around at this moment. You'll get that clarity when it comes to your career and your external reality around the 16th of July. For Scorpio rising, this full moon is happening in your third house. So for Scorpios, this is actually pretty nice, I would say. This could be where a message or information is revealed to you that deepens your understanding of something, especially in connection with other people. So this is a deepening of your communication and connection in one-on-one relationships, including but not limited to marriage partners, business partnerships, close friendships, anyone that you have a close one-on-one connection with. This is where you're going to deepen your understanding, deepen your loyalty, deepen your connection to them. And that deepening of connection that comes through communication is going to help you to weather the storm, to weather the disruption that's coming up for you in that relationship later on this month. So pay attention and take advantage of this full moon energy to deepen your communication, to have those difficult talks, because they're going to go a lot more smoothly if that's something that you need. This is also a really important time where maybe you're putting something out there in terms of like a blog or some sort of smaller writing, or maybe even like with a newsletter or a marketing tool that is a little bit deeper than where you normally go with things, and it's probably going to go really well for you. It might disrupt your relationship with certain people, but those people are not meant to come with you moving forward. It's going to enhance and deepen your connection with the people that are meant to come with you moving forward. And so this is a really great time for that as well. This is where you might get recognized for something involving teaching, communication, education. This is also where it could be the culmination of maybe something involving like a vehicle or short distance travel or transportation. This is a great time for you to reach out to siblings, extended family members, especially like cousins and things like that, to again deepen your connection and to understand these people in a very new way. And that's going to reveal something to you that is going to again help you weather the storm if that relationship gets disrupted later in this month. And so yeah, there's a lot going on here. You're going to learn a lot. There's going to be like a deep understanding that's going to be revealed to you through your day-to-day connections and communications with people, and that's going to change everything. For Sagittarius and Sagittarius rising. For Sagittarius, this full moon is happening in your second house, which is the house of money, material possessions, finance. And so this could be where a really big, really powerful financial opportunity comes in that helps you to navigate and weather the disruptions that are going to be coming up for you when it comes to your work and your daily routines, potentially your health too, if that's applicable to you. There's going to be something going on here this month where it's all over the place. It's very chaotic, and you realize, all right, this new opportunity has come up. This is really solid. This is going to be a really big investment for my financial future. And this helps create stability in an area of my life that has been all over the place lately, and that will probably be all over the place later this month. This is going to be a hard time for like locking in on any sort of stability and routine in your work and just in your day-to-day life. And so this is where you're going to find an outlet for financial stability and financial focus amidst a lot of weirdness. And that weirdness isn't necessarily bad. We'll talk about it in 2 weeks. It's just going to be different. There's going to be some different stuff coming up for you. This could also be a really big intuitive hit when it comes to the way to create more finances or manage your money or invest your money, and that could be very powerful and very important for your future. For Capricorn and for Capricorn rising. So for Capricorn, this full moon is happening in your first house. This is all about you, Capricorn. This is where you might get recognized for something. This is where you might be coming into a position of power or authority. That's the Plutonian way, especially in Capricorn, right? This is about you harnessing your psychic power, your psychological power, but even your physical power out in the world, or being recognized for your power. And that doesn't have to be a bad thing. I'm not saying that like you're like a diabolical evil mastermind and that kind of power, but everybody has their own their own power, and you're going to be standing in that, and you're going to be seen and perceived as more intense, more powerful. And this is a major manifestation time for Capricorns. Whatever it is that you want and that you truly and deeply desire on a core level, you're going to be able to draw that into you like a magnet at this full moon, or repel the things that you don't want. Especially, this is one of the things too with this Pluto energy. If you are logically thinking you want one thing, like I want $1 million, but do you really want $1 million? Or at your core, do you just want the security that $1 million will bring? Like, those are things that you're going to have to discern between at the time of this full moon. It'll become clear to you, but the things that you truly want at your core, that's what you'll draw in. So you might not draw in $1 million in a giant pile, but you might draw in something that brings a greater sense or feeling of security, right? And so that's what's going on for Capricorn there. This is also a time where you're going to connect with your passions, your desires, your fun side, and your spontaneous side a little bit more, but in a way that's really focused and really intense and really passionate. It's like, I am all of a sudden really lit up about this thing, and I am just laser focused on it. I can't be just disrupted or interrupted from it. I'm following this thread. All right, and so for Aquarius and Aquarius rising, this full moon is happening in your 12th house. This is the time to rest. So this is where a lot is being purged in your life. This is where you're going to be letting go. There's going to be a lot of culminations that lead to big endings around the time of this full moon on the 13th. And so that's really what's being highlighted. There's a lot that needs to end in your life in order to create space for the changes that are occurring in all four corners. It's happening across all areas. You're going to have a lot of disruption in the next couple of weeks involving your home, your family, your property, your ancestry, your career, your public reputation, your work, your relationships, who you are, your sense of identity. Everything's going to be frazzled in a couple of weeks, and it might already feel a little frazzled right now. This is where going inward, spending time in solitude, letting go of any excess baggage, trimming the fat, getting rid of anything you don't need, that is going to be a really clear path to focus on. That's going to help you to navigate any disruption that comes up, and you're going to get some really deep intuitive downloads, some really deep insights if you spend that time with yourself and on yourself around the time of this full moon. It's super important because that's going to really be where you find solace through the changes that are coming up for you, which these changes are leading to something that you need, but again, it's going to feel uncomfortable, and you're going to have a clear path if you take that time. Okay, and then finally for Pisces and for Pisces rising, the full moon is happening in your 11th house, which is the house of friends, social networks, and groups of people that you surround yourself with because you want to. This is where something's going to be revealed to you within your social circle or about a friend or within a friendship. This is also a great time to deepen your intimacy, deepen your loyalty, deepen your connection with your friends, with the people you trust, with the people you hold dear. This could also be where you're recognized or you have some sort of like power that comes to you within a social organization or a group of people where all of a sudden everyone's looking to you as the source of power, as the leader, as the inspiration, as the one that's moving things. This could also be where, you know, it could be revealed to you that certain friendships are just not working out and that you need to kind of move on for that. That's been a theme for Pisces for a few years now, and this is being highlighted. It's kind of like, all right, I have these people, they're on my team, they're on my side. I have such a deep connection to, you know, this person and that person and that person, but this person, they just kind of revealed themselves to me. Something kind of weird happened. Maybe, you know, I keep them at a distance, or maybe this relationship needs to change in some way. Doing this is going to help you to kind of free up energy for when everything gets a little disrupted. There could also be a really unusual, bizarre message or communication that comes in through other people and through your day-to-day kind of interactions, especially in your community and with your friends within your community, that causes you to shift or transform or change something about the way that you interact with, you know, these friends or with this person. And that, again, can be a positive thing, and that person will really be on your side if things get a little disrupted these next couple of weeks. Luckily for Pisces, it's not as wild, but you know, there's still going to be changes going on. And so you want to be prepared for that. And this is where, you know, it would be a really great time for you to do something with a kind of spiritual group or organization, like doing some sort of like full moon gathering or something like that, or connecting with people on that level. This is a really great energy for something like that as well. And so that is my forecast for Pisces and for all 12 zodiac signs. So kind of moving into what's going on in the next 2 weeks, there's going to be a new moon in the sign of Leo happening on the 28th. And so that's actually going to be a minor activation of a major energy that's super, super intensified around that time. We have Uranus coming into an exact conjunction with the North Node on the 31st, and then Mars is joining that conjunction on the 1st of August. This is in a very tight, very exact T-square with Mercury, which will be in opposition with Saturn in the sign of Aquarius. This is huge, you guys. This is like a major society disrupting energy. And we're all going to be feeling that external component of it while we're all going through our own internal and personal changes in our lives. Everybody's going to have something come up that's going to be surprising, that's going to be different, that's going to disrupt the status quo. It's just a matter of to what degree, how shocking will it actually be for you? Will it be felt and experienced really positively and really easily? Will it be hard in the moment, or maybe kind of a mixed energy in the moment? And what will it lead to? What changes do you need in order to create and facilitate more freedom from the mundane, from the day-to-day, from stagnancy, from things that have been fixed and stable in your life for quite some time that have caused you to become really complacent? This is a growth opportunity, and yeah, it might not feel good for everyone in the moment. For some people, it'll feel great. But it's leading to something that's going to be very liberating, not just for us as individuals, but potentially for society as a whole. And so we're going to discuss this in a lot of detail in 2 weeks, and I'm going to get into this for all 12 signs, and so you'll know how you'll be experiencing it more personally. So make sure that you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already done so you're notified and you don't miss this really, really important astrology forecast. And thank you guys so much for watching this forecast. If you enjoyed this video, please like the video, subscribe to my channel, and share this with your friends if you feel like they could benefit from the information that I provided to you today. Thank you again, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, everyone.